Hello YouTube. Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, also known as Mr. Lighting in a Fan. Good evening to all of you in YouTube land. How you doing? And yes, I have lighting over here, I have lighting over here, and I have the fan over here. How you doing? Right now the time is approximately 9:55 p.m. Eastern Time, and the date is Wednesday, June 16th, 2021. The moon is currently waxing in Virgo, and the sun is transiting in Gemini. It is a very mercurial day, especially considering that in Magickal Traditions, Wednesday is the day of Mercury. Before we begin, I am very happy to say that I am using my new on-screen mug, and let me tell you about the tea that I'm drinking. Oh, that is so good. So, I've always loved currants. I've only had the fruit in pastries. There is an amazing French bakery slash cafe in the Forest Hills district of Queens in New York City. It's called La Boulangerie. And they had an Irish soda bread last year that was made with currants. I forgot to ask if it was red currant or black, but as y'all know, I am a huge twining snob, so of course, black currant breeze, and I'm going to have my awesome audiovisual person do a close-up of the box. I'm so happy that I found this. My local ShopRite supermarket did not have this, so I actually ordered it on the Twinings USA website, and it is so delicious. There's also a mixed berry black tea that is also delicious. But I have been absolutely enjoying this very much. And if you have black currant breeze, let me know how much you love it too. Also, I want my awesome audiovisual person, also known as Drake, to do a close-up of my beautiful t-shirt. It is the triple goddess depicted in front of a full moon. This was a t-shirt that I purchased years ago from a company called the Pyramid Collection. And I was wondering the other day if the Pyramid Collection was still in existence. It is. But it's not as metaphysical, magical, or mystical as it used to be. It's become very non-metaphysical, non-magical, non-mystical. They do have some items that are very witchy and pagan, but the number of metaphysical, magical, and mystical items, from clothing to jewelry and whatnot, is so much less than it used to be. I couldn't help but feel a little disappointed, but you know, it's not like I don't have other alternatives like Notions and Potions and Catland Books and Etsy. So, you know, I have options, just like you have options. Lots of options. Anyway, so I did a lot of thinking the last week or so, and I decided that it would really be much easier to just pick up where I left off with regards to the Many Moons Lunar Planner, and specifically the Many Moons 2021 Lunar Planner, as well as Llewellyn's 2021 Tarot Calendar. By the way, I am very happy to announce that the Llewellyn's 2022 Tarot Calendar will be published next month. I've stated in previous, although this year I did not receive the Llewellyn Tarot Catalog. I think that they forgot about me. But that's okay. Besides, I'm being especially frugal over the next few weeks, which is driving me up the wall, because I've been buying tarot and oracle card decks virtually every week since the beginning of this year. Pardon me. So I'm just like, okay, Robert, you gotta hold off for now. But there's a reason why, but I'll tell you all about that later. But for right now, what I want to do is have my awesome audiovisual person for my YouTube videos do a close-up of the gorgeous cover of the Many Moons 2021 Lunar Planner. It's a little bit beat up because, you know, I love this. I use this quite often. I love the pearlescent cover. I love this copper full moon. But since we're in June, I'm going to read to you July. And I was reading it earlier when I was preparing for this video, and it is so beautiful. And keep in mind that in Western astrology, every sign of the zodiac rules a body part or several body parts, and Leo rules the heart, which is so appropriate because in Western astrology, Leo and its ruling planet, the sun, correspond to the heart, as well as the spine, by the way. So this is from the tarot or oracle card pulled for the month, and I'm going to read what living in a city. And the warmer weather is here, so the motorcycles are more out, so you know. And of course, keep in mind that by near the end of July, the sun enters the sign of the lioness. So, what does your heart feel like? What does it need? What is the language of your heart? What lights your heart up? What or who are you able to love abundantly? How do you create expressions of love? What does the love of divinity / source / spirit feel like? When do you feel that way? Oh, hold on, I lost my place. When do you feel that way? All by yourself? What traditional spiritual tools or ancient technologies are helping you? What new technology is aiding you? This month has a lovely rare Aquarius full moon, our first of 2 in a row. So that does happen from time to time, where one month we will have a full moon in a certain sign, and the following month we will have a full moon in the same sign. By the way, here's a secret. Technically, that is the real definition of a blue moon, because it is not an everyday occurrence that we will have 2 full moons, one after the other in the same sign. So for those of you whose sun sign, like Michelle, Swan of Dreamers on YouTube, is Aquarius, or for those of you who have rising in Aquarius, or those of you like yours truly who has moon in Aquarius, this will be a very power-packed 2-month period, July and August. And of course, when the sun is in Leo, the full moon is in Aquarius. So it's going to be very interesting to have 2 full moons in Aquarius in a row. I'm getting this vibe that this is a great time to do some surrendering and releasing, listing all the things, all the people you want to surrender and release, because symbolically full moons represent completion. So what it is that you want to declare complete in your life. Okay, so let me try this again. This month has a lovely rare Aquarius full moon, our first of 2 in a row. It is also our first month without an eclipse since April. That's a big deal. This month could feel like a space to exhale and move in another direction. Themes of this month, July 2021, could be emotional expertise, building new technologies with old ways, technologies of the heart, interesting combinations, radical futurism, intuition, self-love, pivots, conscious dialogues, conscious dialoguing, and the experiencing of life and emotions in holographic fractals. By the way, spending time in nature means that you're surrounded by Mother Nature's fractals. In the beginning months of the year, there was an ask to examine your baseline spiritual practices, mindsets, and some of the different goals you had for this year. Now, in the glorious full moon stage that the summer is, reflect on how far you've come. Behold yourself. This year has been challenging and intense. You are making it through. You are walking through portals, and creating new paradigms. So, I say to all of you, think back to December 2020 through January 2021, and think about what your goals were, what your desires were, what you wanted to focus on most of all in 2021, and see if any of that has changed. If it has, great. If it hasn't, that's great too. Now, before I tell you about the cards, or rather the card positions, I want to show you this glorious, gorgeous oracle card deck. It's called the Moonlight Oracle deck, and it was illustrated and created by Tatiana Berenkina. And I'm going to have my awesome audiovisual person do a close-up of the cover of the box. And now I want to show you the first oracle card deck that she illustrated, which is the Sacred SelfCare Oracle, created by Jill Pyle, or written by Jill Pyle, who is the CEO and co-founder of Goddess Provisions. Now, I love Ms. Berenkina's artwork in this oracle card deck, but when I saw this popped for me. To me, her artwork in this oracle card deck is a true reflection of Ms. Berenkina's soul. And it is, for right now, one of the most gorgeous oracle card decks, lunar oracle card decks that I have ever encountered. I saw this and I was beyond mesmerized. And I still remain beyond mesmerized. It is a truly gorgeous, gorgeous oracle card deck. I will absolutely link Ms. Berenkina's Etsy shop in the description. But it just blows me away. It really does. Okay, so let me talk to you a little bit about the card spreads. Don't you fall. Okay. So, here we go. My cards of the month are, and here is a spread suggestion. Card number 1, how will messages show up this month? And remember, this is for July 2021. Card number 2, how will my intuition show up? Card number 3, what am I learning? Card number 4, what technologies must I develop? Card number 5, what technologies must I explore? And card number 6, what is this preparing me for? So we have a 6-card spread, and of course, when I consult the Sacred Oracle, I always pull the bottommost card as the final message card. So with that being said, I call upon the great goddess. I call upon all lunar deities, from Artemis and Hecate to Tehuti and Chandra. And I ask that they be with me, and that for anyone who needs these messages, may they resonate, may they ring that inner bell, and may they remind you of your greatness and your power. And of course, I'm going to cut the deck like this because it's easier, and there will be close-ups. And I will tell you right now, I'm feeling the vibrations in this deck so strongly. Just juicy, juicy, juicy. Okay, are we ready? We are ready. All right. How will messages show up in July 2021? I'm pulling from the top. I'm going to have my awesome audiovisual person do a close-up of the back of the card design. And now I'm going to have him do a close-up of the front of the card. Then I will look at the card, and then I'll tell you what it means. So, okay, I can't help but smile for several reasons. Number one, this is one of the few gemstones for which I know what I called old husband's tales. Because, you know, there is a thing called patriarchy. And one of the old husband's tales about opals is that a woman cannot give herself opals. That, by the way, that's called malarkey and BS and nonsense and all that other stuff. A woman can absolutely give herself opals. So can a man, by the way. Opals enhance clairvoyance, they strengthen second sight, and they definitely facilitate greater intuitive guidance. Now, looking at the image, it's a black opal. But if you're more drawn to a white opal, or a blue opal, or a fire opal, or a boulder opal, then go with your intuition on which opal to use to strengthen your intuition. The card's position is, how will messages show up this month? So I'm going to say that messages are going to show up through your intuition and through using gemstones to enhance your intuition, or crystals or minerals, or whichever term is most applicable for your situation. I would suggest getting an opal. And it's so funny because when it comes to opals, I'm usually more drawn to them in jewelry. And there is a place in Greenwich Village where I know I could find some gorgeous opal jewelry. I mean, I could always go to Etsy, but there's a place that I'm long overdue to return to visit, and I pass it every time I go to Stickstone and Bone, so I know that they're still in existence. They've been around for more than 20 years, I think. I don't remember the name. No, Nusrati Imports is the name of the store. So I feel that buying an opal or giving yourselves an opal would definitely help facilitate receiving messages with greater clarity and strength. Okay, second card. How will my intuition show up? I'm curious about this one. So again, I'm going to have my awesome audiovisual person do a close-up of the back of the card design, which is gorgeous, by the way. Now I'm going to have him do a close-up of the front of the card design, and then I'll read the card and tell you what it means. Okay, so for the record, not every card depicts a gemstone. And I shuffled this deck pretty thoroughly, so I'm surprised that there are 2 gemstone cards in a row. Those of you that have had readings with me in person, you know that I always have amethyst on the layout table. Amethyst is one of my personal favorite prosperity and wealth crystals. It is one of my personal favorite intuition enhancing crystals, and I usually have several pieces of amethyst, loose, tumbled. I do not have a big amethyst cluster. I have a small one, which is fine by me. I am long overdue to replace, because I had years ago an amethyst slice pendant, long overdue to replace that. But if you have any amethysts, I would say bathe them under a 2-week cycle. And if you really want to supercharge them, I would say a 4-week cycle. You can do from one full moon to the next, maybe from the Aquarius full moon in July to the Aquarius full moon in August, or you could do one new moon to the next new moon. But definitely, this is a great time for those of you who have amethysts to supercharge them. Okay, third card. What am I learning? So I'm going to have my awesome audiovisual person, also known as Drake, do a close-up of the front of the card, and then I will look at the card and interpret it for y'all. I'm going to say I'm learning to pay attention. Okay, now I need to look ahead, because I'm like, are they all going to be crystals? No. Yes. No. Okay. So for the next 3 cards that comprise the 6-card spread, only one depicts a crystal. The other 2 do not. I'm not going to look at the bottommost card yet, the final message card, but it's just, I mean, I thoroughly shuffle this deck, so I'm just like, this is, like I say, you can't make this stuff up. So I do actually love the keywords that are on the cards. I usually don't care for keywords on tarot oracle card decks, but in this case, I happily make an exception. And you know, Moonstone really is about strengthening one's intuition. It is about the divine feminine. It is about moon magic. So definitely, I would recommend those of you that do have moonstones or selenites, since they're named after Selene, the Greek goddess of the full moon, place your moonstones and selenites under, you might want to do the full moon to full moon with those crystals. I think they would enjoy that very much. So seriously, aside from learning to pay attention, learning to be more intuitive, learning to enhance one's intuition, and I'm also going to say learning to expand one's mind with regards to strengthening one's intuition. You know, over the years, I've learned certain ways to enhance my intuition, strengthen it, develop a clearer signal with regards to my psychic guides and the goddesses. But the universe may be presenting me and you with new opportunities and new ideas for strengthening your intuition. Okay. Card number 4. What technologies must I develop? Space. And this time I'm being divinely guided and intuitively led to read what it says at the bottom of the card, which definitely feels like a channeled message to me. Hold space for your difficult emotions. So I'm going to read this again. Card number 4 is, what technologies must I develop? And the card is called space, as in outer space, as in the space of one's mind. And it says, hold space for your difficult emotions. So what difficult emotions have you been experiencing this year? And I'm focusing just on this year because this is 2021. This is a Hierophant year. So what difficult emotions have you experienced since the beginning of 2021, since Friday, January 1st, 2021? And you can break it down. You know, what emotions have you been experiencing this week? What emotions have you been experiencing this month? What emotions have you been experiencing this season? In the Northern Hemisphere, we're in spring. The summer solstice is in exactly 4 days, on Sunday, June 20th, 2021. In the Southern Hemisphere, it's the opposite. Right now in the Southern Hemisphere, it's autumn and will soon be winter. So what negative emotions, what emotions in general have you been experiencing? And what challenging emotions? And this may be an opportunity for you to take your level of self-care to a whole new level. Because it's like, okay, what am I doing about these difficult emotions? What am I doing about these challenging emotions? Am I holding space for them? Am I ignoring them? Am I avoiding them? Am I doing something else instead of dealing with them? You know, I've mentioned in previous videos that I went back into therapy last year for the first time in more than 25 years. And I will tell you, it has been amazing. It has been enjoyable. I mean, I don't remember the last time I enjoyed therapy, but I have a really fantastic therapist. I love the fact that she wears prescription eyeglasses like I do. I love the fact that she's a fellow Hispanic. I love the fact that she's open, that she asks me questions about my life. And I really feel comfortable with her. And I felt immediately comfortable with her. And, you know, that may be something for you to consider. You know, you may need to consider speaking to someone, going into counseling, going into therapy, exploring something that also enhances your health and well-being. Card number 5, what technologies must I explore? So again, I'm going to have my awesome audiovisual person for my YouTube videos, also known as Drake, do a close-up of this card, and then I will look at the card. Black tourmaline. Black tourmaline has always fascinated me. It is, generally speaking, in my experience, the most expensive of the black protection crystals, but it's the most powerful. So I've always found that to be a fascinating correlation. And personally, I am a fan of the tourmalines. I tend to be more drawn to pink and green and watermelon tourmaline, but black tourmaline is also wonderful, and it is a fantastic crystal for repelling negative energy, for deflecting and eliminating baneful magic. Baneful magic is more commonly called black magic, which, by the way, is a bit of a racist term. Black magic is you know, remember, there is this society of white supremacy and racism and bigotry that basically labels anything black as bad and evil. So the correct magical term for what's commonly and inappropriately referred to as black magic is baneful magic. So black tourmaline repels and essentially dissolves baneful magic. And it's one of the reasons why it is a very prized and sought after crystal. So the card's position means, what technologies must I explore? Perhaps you need to look at any internalized racism you have. Perhaps you need to look at what within you is stopping you from exploring a certain type of magic or a certain type of ritual. And they want me to say this, maybe you need to stop being cheap in certain areas of your life. I don't know. You tell me. What is this preparing me for? So once again, I'm going to have Drake, more commonly known as my awesome audiovisual person for my YouTube videos, do a close-up of this card, and then I will look at the card and interpret it. Self-care. So this confirms what I said a few moments ago. You are being prepared to take your self-care to the next level. And my sense is that you are ready to take your level of self-care to the next level. What is it that you don't? And you know, I'm gonna say this a little bit differently. I'm gonna say it like this: you don't have to treat yourself to a spa at either the Four Seasons or the Ritz-Carlton to take your self-care to the next level. You know, you may want to do something that you've never done before, or something that you haven't been able to do for at least a year or 2 years. I cannot wait until I have a massage again. I have not had a massage in more than 2 years. And I will tell you that once I am fully recovered and at full strength, I cannot wait to have a massage. I can't. And I definitely am chomping at the bit to have a massage. Somebody that is not only a good friend of Drake's, but also hires him to do his YouTube videos on his YouTube channel, treated Drake to a massage as a birthday gift earlier this year. And I was a little jealous because he was getting it and I wasn't. And, you know, I'm thrilled that he got the massage because he absolutely needed it. But I will tell you, I can't wait for mine. I cannot wait for mine because I'm just like, I'm just like chomping at the bit for a massage. And then the final message card with regards to this casting of cards. Again, I'm going to have my awesome audiovisual person do a close-up of the bottommost card. And then I will look at it and interpret it for y'all. And no, I do not have a southern accent. Guanxi. Oh my god, she's one of the goddesses in this deck. And it's so funny because there is this connection that Guanxi has with the moon. Even though in China, the Chinese goddess of the moon is Chang'o. Not to be confused with Shango of the Orishas, but Chang'o. And, you know, I've always loved the fact that Chang'o's animal familiar is this beautiful hare. You know, in general, I'm not a big rabbit or hare person. I mean, they're cute, they're fluffy, but, you know, I also know that when they bite, it's a really hard bite, you know, so there's a part of me that doesn't want to be around rabbits and hares because I don't want to get bitten by them. But they're super cute, super fluffy. But Chang'o's little hare, her animal companion who keeps her from being miserable, has always touched my heart. And I love seeing this this moon behind Guanxi's face and these lotus flowers and how she's holding this vessel that collects human tears so that their suffering can be alleviated. And she is the Chinese goddess of compassion, mercy and forgiveness. And I have been spending more time with her this year. So it's been lovely, more deeply connecting with her and becoming more aware of her presence. So if you are open to it, I invite you to spend time with Guanxi and ask her to guide you on what your next move is, what your next step is, what your next level is. Because she may be guiding you to level up in a way that you don't think it's possible, but it is absolutely possible. As always, it was a pleasure to consult the Sacred Oracle and cast the cards for all of you in YouTube land. I don't do these videos as often, and I'm definitely looking forward to doing more videos over the next several months. I so feel a lot better, and it makes me feel good to see and feel how much more progress I'm making in my healing and in my recuperation and in my recovery from 2 hospitalizations that were 2 back-to-back for comfort. But I am, in case all of you are wondering, I am feeling a whole lot better. Physically I feel better, mentally I feel better, emotionally I feel better, and I am definitely moving forward in the right ways to be healthier physically and mentally and emotionally. And I really love seeing and feeling the progress. And you know, there really isn't much to say about that. You know, I have awesome doctors. I have amazing nurses. I've been really happy with the medical care that I've received. I feel extremely comfortable with my physical therapist. But yeah, so a lot of good things are in the works for me. And again, it was a pleasure to spend some time with all of you with the Many Moons 2021 Lunar Planner. And of course, with one of my new personal favorite Oracle card decks, the Moonlight Oracle deck by Tatiana Berenkina. It is a truly, truly, truly gorgeous deck, and it is one that it feels right to me. I mean, it just feels right to me in so many ways. Physically, psychically, intuitively, energetically, emotionally, visually. It is a gorgeous, stunning, glorious Oracle card deck. And I love the fact that it is now one of 4 lunar-themed Oracle card decks that I have. So I have a feeling that at some point I'm going to offer a very special kind of reading using all 4 of these Oracle card decks. I just didn't realize at the time that I needed to wait for this one. Of course, now I know, but you know, that's another story. Or as I'm fond of saying, that's another video, that's another topic for another video for another day. But in the meantime, I wish all of you and yours the providence of the great goddess, and may she always provide you and yours with wealth, health, and happiness. Good night, and stay tuned for the next video.